Here's why I think buying physical assets is actually one of the coolest ways to start investing. I know you might be thinking, oh, does this mean that I have to buy a house? Well, not necessarily. It doesn't mean that you have to buy a house or anything that expensive for that matter. You can actually get into a lot of these industries without spending much money at all. So I'm going to give you guys just a couple quick examples. I personally am a heavy believer in physical assets. Now, this is not to say that cryptocurrency or something digital, maybe NFTs, they're not good investments. I actually own some personally, and I do believe in it to a certain extent. One of the biggest things that I teach is that you have to have a balanced portfolio, because in a market like we're in right now, crypto's down really heavy. So if my entire portfolio was just crypto, I'd be in a pretty bad position. But because I own physical assets, those physical assets are going up in value. Those physical assets are giving me portfolio stability. One of the biggest things that we love to invest into is exotic cars, and we actually use those exotic cars to rent them out. We'll go out and buy an exotic car, and a lot of times you can finance these cars with very minimal amounts down. That means that you can literally put maybe 10 to 15% of the car's value as a down payment and finance the rest. Here's a quick example. You could go out and you could buy a Lamborghini Huracan. Now, I'm not talking like a brand new Lamborghini. I wouldn't buy a brand new one personally unless it's a very specific scenario. In certain situations, yes, you can go out and you can buy a brand new Lamborghini. But in most scenarios, it's actually more worth it to buy an older one, because you could get an older one for like $200,000, right? And if we're trying to put as little money as we possibly can down, we want to get an older one. We want to get something that's maybe used a little bit, not in like tip-top brand new shape, because remember, this car is going to be a rental. Okay, and if it's going to be a rental, the truth is that the people that are renting these cars, they're probably not going to take as good care of it as you would personally. So if you're buying a personal car, then yes, buy a newer car, buy something that's nice, low mileage. I personally buy my exotics in the best condition that I can find them, because I want to be able to maintain the value of that car. I don't want that car to just lose a bunch of value on me. I want to maintain the condition of that car. I personally take really good care of my cars. I want to make sure that they're in tip-top shape at any given point in time. But if you're buying a rental, that kind of goes out the window, because you're no longer trying to buy a show car or something that's really nice. You're buying something that's nice, but it's not the best option on the market. You have to evaluate what the price of it is and how much you're going to be making every month. If you're buying a $200,000 car, all this to say that you could get it for about 10% down. So that means $20,000. Okay. Now let's say worst case scenario, you get it for $40,000 down. Right? So 20% down, which is a lot easier to do, by the way. You have to have quite a bit of history to get it at 10% down, but let's say you get it for 20% down. So you have $40,000. And by the way, the $40,000, it doesn't mean it has to come out of your pocket. We have strategies in my program where I teach people how to get access to that 40K. So let's say they come into the program, they don't have 40K. I get them 40K, then they take that 40K and they use it as a down payment on the car. So now they're getting access to Lamborghinis, to Ferraris, to Rolls Royce, all these different cars without even putting up any of their own money. This vehicle, a Lamborghini for example, could rent for anywhere between $1,500 to $1,700 a day. If their monthly payment is about $3,000, maybe $4,000, and they rent the car for just 3 days at $1,500, that's $4,500 that they just made. We could easily see one of these cars do $20,000, $30,000, sometimes even $40,000 or $50,000 a month in the summer months, because these are really popular cars. People want to rent them for music videos, for weddings, for special events, so many different reasons that people would rent a Lamborghini. It's all for aesthetic. They want the aesthetic of that car, and so they're willing to pay for that. And so that's a market that we can also take advantage of, because there's a need for it, there's a demand, and we can supply the vehicles that they use for that. So that's just an example of one physical asset that I like to use to make money from, because number one, guys, it protects me from inflation. I own the physical asset. It's worth something. That car is valuable. And so if we have this car and we rent it out, we not only protect ourselves from inflation by owning a valuable asset, a trophy asset, we're also making cash flow from it month after month after month. And guys, sometimes these cars, they literally go up in value. It's crazy. You'll buy a car for $200,000 and in a little bit, it could be worth $210,000 or $220,000 or $230,000. It's kind of depending on how the market moves. But recently the market has been going up. So people are literally just making money buying these cars and then reselling them after they're done renting them. The second thing that I like to invest into, so private jets, yachts, those types of luxury assets, think about it. These are cash flow opportunities, and these are places that most people aren't looking at. You could literally do the exact same thing that we did with exotic cars, except do it with the yacht. So now you buy a $2 million yacht. Let's say you need 20% down, $400,000 down. Right? And again, it doesn't have to be your own money. You can get access to this capital through my program. Once you have access to the capital, you use that business loan to finance this purchase. Now you're renting it daily and you're making money on it day after day after day. So now you have to evaluate, okay, so do I want to rent out a yacht or do I want to rent out exotic cars? Or maybe I want to rent out private jets. Private jets is like a whole new level. Now I can't technically give you advice, but me personally, I started with exotic cars and then I moved on to like yachts and jets and stuff like that, because that next step, that is what allows you to grow your portfolio exponentially, because now this one yacht is like 10 cars. So instead of me going out and buying 10 cars and trying to find 10 good deals on cars, I could just find one yacht, which is worth about the same amount of money, and it's producing about the same. It's pretty proportional. Guys, getting this yacht, renting it out for the day. People are using the yacht. They're having fun, right? It's good marketing. I can use it for my investor meetings. You have so many opportunities that open up once you start getting into the luxury asset space. A lot of people, they're starting to catch on with the exotic car thing. They're starting to open exotic car rental businesses. And now there's a little bit of competition. Like some markets are getting saturated. Miami's pretty saturated when it comes to exotic cars. Now we have multiple other markets around the country that we leverage for exotic car rentals, but Miami, it's getting pretty saturated. So that's one that you definitely want to be careful with. But the thing is that it's always best to partner with somebody who's an expert in that industry. Whether it's exotic cars or yachts or jets or whatever it is, we want to partner with an expert who already runs a business doing that exact same thing, and then we just split the profits with them. So if my yacht made me $200,000 in a month, I'm gonna split that with the operator 50-50. So I'll keep 100, they'll keep 100, we're both happy. And they're gonna be incentivized to make me 300 the next month and 400 the next month, right? We wanna make sure that they're super incentivized. It's more of a profit share, not equity. You're not actually giving them ownership of the asset, but it feels the same way. And people are very incentivized to perform for you. So guys, we covered exotic car rentals, we covered physical assets like yachts and jets. And now the next one, the last one, real estate. And guys, there's so many opportunities in real estate. One of my favorite ones is actually up north in Pennsylvania. Guys, Pennsylvania is absolutely insane. We're buying these houses with like $20,000, $30,000 down. Like the last house that I bought, I paid $20,000, financed the rest, owner financing. By the way, we have a guy that handles this whole process for you. I wired him $20K and I haven't even lifted a finger. I'm making $1,000 a month on that house. That's like 5% a month on my $20,000 investment. My mortgage is like $330 a month or so. So I'm grossing about 5% a month, but let's say I'm just keeping 3 or 4% a month. That's still insane. That's unheard of returns in real estate. Guys, so that's another physical asset that we really love to invest in because of how safe it is and the types of returns that we're able to get. Now it's definitely slower than like yachts or jets or cars, but it's real estate and real estate tends to appreciate. So guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.